save our people. Because what people need to be saved? Our people. Go ahead, sis.
By saying, like me coming from the Christian church, you mean that only people of color are going to inherit heaven?
No, I don't mean that. Because...
Or do you, I'm missing some fundamental things.
No, you good, sis.
What do you all believe about heaven? What do you all believe about hell?
That's a good question, sis. Give me Revelation chapter 5, verse 9, real quick. Those are good questions. Go ahead.
You said Revelation 5?
Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. A lot of times our people think that the heaven, we die and we go to heaven, we're there for eternity. The kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on the planet Earth. I'm going to show you that in the Bible right now. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation chapter 5, verse 9.
And verse 10, matter of fact. Just get to the point.
Verse 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests.
So we're going to be made kings and priests to God when he comes and saves his people. Go ahead.
And we shall reign on the earth.
Where?
On the earth.
In some mystical place.
On the earth.
We're going to be reigning on the earth. So heaven is, there's 3 heavens in the Bible. There's the sky, there's the space, as we call it, and then there's where God dwells, in the spirit world.
Right.
So it's not like a place where you die and you spend eternity there. The same way hell, get Revelation 20 and 14, I think it is. They gave me Job, and then and we'll start there. I think it's Revelation 20 and 14. And I hope it's Revelation 20 and 14. Let me see.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Because we often hear about this term, the lake of fire. Lake of fire, right?
Like when you gonna burn forever.
Right. That's what we hear, right? But let me show you something. Go ahead.
Book of Revelation chapter 20, verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
But how can the lake of fire be hell if hell is being cast into the lake of fire? Now, I'm going to quote Tupac right quick, right? He said, have you ever seen a crackhead? That's eternal fire. That's what hell is. Hell is a condition that you see on the earth. I'm going to show you that. There's 2 words for hell in the Hebrew, right? One meaning a condition, or one meaning the grave. I'm going to show you both of those real quick. Give me Jonah. Jonah 3 and 5.
Just gotta get select. You're alright.
Are you familiar about the story of Jonah in the Bible, sister?
Yes.
He was swallowed by a fish, right? Go ahead, read that. Need it on the here. Right here, read it. All right.
The book of Jonah chapter 2, verse 2.
Start at the top.
Verse 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish's belly.
So this is, remember, he's in the fish's belly. Go ahead.
And said, I cried by reason of mine affliction.
I cried because I was being afflicted. Meaning he was being persecuted. He's going through, I'm going through hell right now. Are you literally in hell, or are you just going through a hard time? Keep going.
Unto the Lord, and he heard me out of the belly of hell.
Out of what?
Out of the belly of hell.
So we just read earlier, and it said he was in the fish's belly. It said he was in the fish's belly. So hell is a hard condition. Give me, matter of fact, give me Prayer of Azariah in the Apocrypha. Prayer of Azariah in the Apocrypha, chapter 1, verse 66. Watch this. Who knows about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Right? One of your favorite stories, right? They got put in the furnace, right? They're getting burnt, but they were protected, right? Let me show you something. Prayer of Azariah 1, is it 66? Get 66.
The book of the 3 Holy Children, chapter 1, verse 66.
Watch this. This was a cold one, y'all. Watch this.
O Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael.
These are their real names. Go ahead. They're Hebrew names.
Bless ye the Lord.
It said, bless God. Why?
Praise and exalt him above all forever. For he hath delivered us from hell.
From what?
From hell.
But they were getting burned. So how was hell a place you go underneath the earth if they were in hell? Because they were going through hell. That's what hell is. When you're in a bad condition, when you're going through it. You see, that's a cold one. But you got one? Okay, go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 20. Yeah. But the Lord hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace.
Out of what?
Out of the iron furnace.
When Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, God said, I delivered you from the iron furnace. Meaning the hard place, the pain, the captivity. the hardship. That's what God meant. Now give me Genesis 37. I'll go to the grave my son mourning.
So this is literally our hell right now.
Yes, this is hell. There's a saying, white man's heaven is a black man's hell. That's what we are seeing right now on the earth right now. You got it? 37.
I got too many answers.
Grave, get that in grave mourning. It's 37, I wrote it.
37, 35.
Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse 35.
Now, just to give a background on what's going on, y'all know about Joseph in the Bible. His brothers sold him into slavery. Watch this. Remember, they faked his death too. So, watch this, go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse 35. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him.
Talking about Jacob. They're going to comfort their father because they just faked their brother's death. Go ahead.
But he refused to be comforted.
He said, no, I can't be comforted. I'm going through hell, basically. Go ahead.
And he said, for I will go down into the grave.
To the what?
Into the grave unto my son mourning.
He said he's going to go visit his son's grave. But when you look at the Hebrew word for grave right there, it's Sheol, which means hell. So the grave is, or sorry, hell is either the grave or a harsh condition that you're living in. I hope that answered y'all question. Now, let's finish it off in the book of Job. Give me that in 3. Job 3 there, the wicked and is it a Job 3 or Job 4? Okay. Job chapter 3, start at 17.
Book of Job, chapter 3, verse 17. There the wicked cease from troubling.
It says, now when you die, that's the question. When you die, what happens to you? That's a deep question. We can go into that too. But here's where you go. You go to the spirit world. That's where you go. The scriptures talk about the spirit of man that goeth upward.
Right. Immediately upon death.
Yes, you die and you go immediately to the spirit world. That's where you go.
I believe that your spirit still lives, even though
Your spirit is energy. It can't die. But your body can die. So your spirit, your body dies and your spirit goes to the Father. Go ahead.
And there the weary be at rest.
It says the wicked, and we get taught in the Christian church, bad people go to hell, good people go to heaven. No, it says all, give me that, all go into one place in Ecclesiastes.
Verse 18. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor.
You don't hear the voice of the oppressor in the spirit world. When you die, you go directly to the Father, immediately. Job 3 and 17. But now give me Ecclesiastes. Okay, get that, and then 12 and 7. Okay, go ahead, sis. You all right?
So if it really doesn't matter, whether you're righteous or whether you're wicked, your spirit is going to leave your body once you are deceased. What's the purpose in trying to live your life, according to these, rules? What's the point of keeping the 10 Commandments or,
Okay, good. So that's 14 and 35. That's a good question, and I'm gonna show you. Give me first. Don't get that. Get Numbers 14 and 18 first. That's a good question. When I say that we all go to one place, that doesn't mean that the Lord is not going to judge the wicked, and that He's not going to reward the righteous. We all go to one place, but there's still a judgment that takes place after that, and I'm gonna show you where that judgment takes place. But first, let me show you this. Go ahead.
The book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 18. The Lord is long-suffering.
What is it to be long-suffering? Mean He's patient. Go ahead.
And of great mercy.
It's also great mercy. Keep going.
Forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty.
God will not clear the guilty. Keep going. How does God not clear the guilty? Keep going.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
He visits the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. Go ahead.
Unto the 3rd and 4th generation.
The 3rd and 4th generation. So you're wicked, and 3 to 4 generations later, you get punished for it. Now, how does that happen? Get 2 Ezra 14 and 35. I'm going to break this all down. It's a bit of a lot, especially when you're just coming new from the Christian church, but I'm going to try to break it down. 2 Ezra 14 and 35.
Book of 2 Ezra, chapter 14, verse 35. For after death shall the judgment come.
So you die, then the judgment comes. But then what happens?
When we shall live again.
We shall what?
When we shall live again.
You die, you get judged, and then you come back.
So you believe in reincarnation?
Reincarnation, but not in the sense how people like exactly. You die and you come back as a person. Is what the scriptures talk about. You know what I wanted to be? 3 or 4. 3, yeah. Is that what you was getting? Okay, my bad, brother. All right. It's been a minute. Go ahead,
I know
brother.
you ain't finished your point. No, I know you didn't finish your point. When you say you die and come back, is it to do it over again, to get something better, or to do it right, or to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense.
You're talking like I can't remember what the term is called in Buddhism, but basically like I know.
Your dharma.
There you go, your dharma.
Your
That's
dharma.
what Hindus believe, right? I think Buddhists have a concept of it as well. Basically, once you lived a righteous enough life, you stop being reincarnated and you just live in heaven or something like that. But the reason why they believe, this is not what the Bible says. They believe that you keep getting reincarnated is to, like you said, to keep trying again until you get it right. That's not what the Bible says. You just keep coming because that's what the Lord appointed. You die, you come back. You die, you come back. You die, you come back. It's a cycle. Get after this, get 2 Ezra 5. Go ahead.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 21. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward?
No, downward.
Upward.
You don't die and go down the hill. You die, you go up to the spirit world, to the Father. Go ahead.
Well, Salah. Now, Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was.
So you die, and your body returns to ashes, dust to dust. That's when you get buried, and you become basically your body. Remember, because your soul doesn't die, your body dies, and it decays, and it becomes nourishment for the earth. Go ahead.
And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
So you die, and you go to God. All go to one place. Get that.
2 Ezra 5, right?
No, get that too. Get that too. 2 Ezra 5. And I like it, my judgment to read 26.
42.
2 Ezra 5 and 42. You're right.
Book of 2 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 42. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
Unto a ring. God's going to liken how he judges people like a ring. What goes around comes around. Go ahead.
Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
So that's why going back to him being long suffering. He may judge one people slower than he may judge another people. There's no slackness of the first. It's all going to come back around in due time, is what the Lord is saying. You got that all go to one place? Okay. Go ahead. You're all right, sis.
So white people going to heaven too?
Well,
Or they spirit go up too?
here,
Or does the same apply for them as what you said is applying to us? Like, are they going to be judged generation by generation, die, come back, generation by generation, for opportunity to get things right? And should I hate them now?
Okay. You got something?
Here's the problem, right? In the church, we're told everything is about the afterlife. We're living to go to heaven or hell. It's not about that. That's why you're asking these questions, because that's what's in your mind. That's not biblical, right? It's not about doing what we got to do and then getting to heaven, or doing what we got to do and getting to hell. It's not about that at all. Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. I'm going to show it to you. Go ahead.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun of the...
He said, read slow. You know you read from me, you got to read slow. Read again.
Verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun...
Under what?
Under the sun.
What's under the sun? The earth. Under the sun. Read.
The place of judgment.
The place of judgment. So the place of judgment, God's stage where everything happens, is under the sun. It's not an underworld in hell. It's not in heaven far away. Everything happens right here. Read.
That wickedness was there.
Here's wickedness. Read.
And the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
See that? Wickedness and righteousness is all played out right here on the earth. Book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter and the 16th verse, right? So this is what lets us know that, right? So everything has to happen here on earth. So everyone gets their judgment and everyone gets their reward right here on earth. When we all die and go to the same place, that's just basically your spirit sitting in neutrality waiting to get reborn on the earth to do its judgment or to get its reward.
So basically, you better get whatever you're going to get now instead of, because, you know, we live our life, well, Christians do, excuse me,
Yes, ma'am.
based on the reward system, you know, that we going to sacrifice now. We're going to try to, you know, be long-suffering now so that eventually we'll get what's due us, you know, because we've done that. So that kind of take away my whole purpose of life, you know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, you ain't gotta die to get your reward. See that truthfully is a slave doctrine. When they told us we had to die, see, when they told the slave, don't worry, just be a good slave, and when you die, it'll be all good. See, that's the concept we gotta do. We ain't gotta die to attain heaven. Heaven is something that's obtainable on the earth right now in your life. Go ahead, King.
So, priest, so when you see somebody somebody that's born with affliction, maybe a handicap born that way, is that judgment for what they did?
We can't say. We can't say because sometimes it's judgment, but when Christ healed the blind man, they asked, well, was it because of him or his parents? And he said it's for neither. It's for he just got blind just so I can heal him. So we can't say what anybody's, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a judgment, sometimes it's, you know, for any other. Go ahead, Ken.
Is there anything in the scriptures that tell us how long we are in the spiritual world?
That's that 3 or 4 generations, going back to that precept. That's why I say it come to the Father to the 3rd and 4th generation. That's when we coming back, right? But what you got? Give me that. I'm gonna show you something because we got this whole. We gotta correct our concept of what heaven is, right? Read on.
The book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 21. Neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you.
It's where?
Is within you.
So the kingdom is within us. The kingdom of heaven is within us. It's not a place that we get when we die. It's in us. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't have to look outside of yourself for the kingdom. The kingdom has been bestowed within you. Right? So these are the things that we gotta, that's why Christ said, give me John 3 real quick, starting at the top. Right? This is a very important passage, right? John 3. And it's overlooked a lot of times. And oftentimes, we talked about this a little last night on our live stream, but oftentimes the church, they messed this whole thing up, right? So read that.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. Verse 2, the same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest except God be with him. Verse 3, Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again.
Except what?
A man be born again. You
gotta be born again, read.
He cannot see the kingdom of God.
If he do not be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. What do you need to be born again from? What you've been told in the church. You see, what you've been told in the church has deceived you about what the word of God says. So that's why he's telling us we got to be born again, because our leadership has misled us as to the truth of God, right? So that's why we got to be born again. In order to be born again, what does that mean? That old stuff that we learned, we forget that, we put that stuff off, because that stuff was made to mislead us. As we reborn now, we reborn with correct and proper instruction, right? Get Ephesians 5, go ahead.
The book of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man.
The what?
The old man.
See, when we become a new creature, when we become born again, we put off the old man, right? Read.
Which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust.
Because this whole doctrine that we've been taught is corrupt according to deceitful lust. That's what it was created for, deceitful lust, right? It's not the truth of God, it's deceit, right? Read.
Verse 23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
You say be renewed. That's what time, we come into a time where we got to be renewed in the spirit of our mind. Read on.
Verse 24, and that ye put on the new man.
We put on what?
The new man.
We put on a new man. Read on.
Which after God,
which what?
After God.
So the new man is after God, right? Read.
Is created in righteousness.
Is what?
Is created in righteousness.
It's important to understand that now we are being newly created in righteousness, right? Read.
And true holiness.
And what?
And true holiness.
You'll get righteousness and true holiness in a second. Go to 5 and 26 first, though. Before we go there, go ahead.
Book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it.
And sanctify and cleanse us how?
With the washing of water by the word.
By what?
By the word.
By the word. That's that water we're being reborn in, the word. We're not going off of just pastor said this or they say this or they wrote this in a book. We're going straight off what the book say. You see what I'm saying? And this is how we start to get this understanding that heaven is not this place we die and go to, but heaven rather is something that we have the power to manifest within ourselves. And when we collectively come together, it will be manifest.
Bring it out.
We the only thing holding that back is us. Right? Go ahead.
You want me to keep going in?
Give me righteousness. Give me, Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy 6 says it say we're going to be newly created in righteousness. So what is that righteousness we're newly created in? Right? Go ahead.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God.
See that? So observe the observation of the commandments, the observation of the law, that's righteousness. So if we're being newly created in righteousness, then that's what's scoping our mind now, is the law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
That was a thought that I had before. Because based on Christianity, you know what we hear about Jesus Christ and the Pharisees, right? So the Pharisees were overly righteous and they kept every last one of those laws.
See, but they didn't.
But
Jesus didn't. They didn't keep the law, though. That's why Christ rebuked them.
What law did they not keep? Because I'm talking about as far as like keep the Sabbath holy, you know, don't eat the pork. Those external laws, they were grievous, right? Weren't they burdensome? And didn't it have to be?
No, see, that's a convolution, because you're dealing with something that Paul wrote, and then dealing with something that Christ said, and then it's convoluted. It's taking both of them two different things and making them one thing. He didn't say it was burdensome or grievous. He rebuked them because they didn't keep the law. He rebuked them because they esteemed tradition over the law. But they acted as if they were righteous. The same way the church does. They esteem tradition. They don't esteem scripture as much as they esteem tradition. Right? There's so many traditional things that if you break that tradition, you'll be looked at like you're the worst blasphemer to ever live. But there's not a scripture against it, right? Like something in the church called shacking up premarital sex, right? That they're gonna tell you that's the worst thing in the world. Can they go to a Bible verse about it? No. Fornication is unlawful sex. Premarital sex, quote unquote, according to the Bible, there's not even such a thing as premarital sex. That's not even real.
Because once they did it, they was married. Right?
There you go, right? But you go to the church, you're told you're evil as hell, you're shacking up, you're a harlot, you're a fornicator if you do that, right? So that's tradition that's being esteemed over scripture. That's what Christ's gripe was with the Pharisees, because the Pharisees, they really was about tradition. They really was like, damn, you didn't wash your hands before you eat, you're the worst thing in the world. I mean, damn. I mean, that ain't the worst thing you can do, right?
I interpreted that, I guess, a little bit wrong, because I wasn't thinking about the tradition, but I felt like they were keeping all of the external laws, but their hearts was not right.
Yeah, they emphasized external laws and they emphasized tradition, but they didn't emphasize the inwardness, and there is a fundamental problem. That's where the balance of faith and works, because anybody can look the part, right? And that's what they did. They attempted to look the part, but also they were dealing with this traditional aspect. But it's not just about looking the part, it's about having a circumcised heart too, and circumcised ears, not just being physically circumcised. You see what I'm saying? Precept?
John chapter 7 verse 19. Did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keep it?
See, that's what Christ said to the Pharisees. He said, none of you, Moses gave the law, not one of y'all keep it. So they were just fronting, faking like they keep the law, right? Read.
This is Matthew chapter 20.
They look the part, right? Read.
Matthew chapter 23 verse 2. Saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
What?
Sit in Moses' seat.
Sit in Moses' seat. Read.
All therefore, whatsoever they bid you, observe.
So the Pharisees were telling people to keep the law. That's why Christ said, whatever they tell you to do it, because that's right to keep the law. Read.
That observe and do, but do not ye after their works.
Don't do what they do, because they want to esteem tradition, and they're wicked as hell on the inside, right? So don't follow that. Read.
For they say and do not.
Yeah, they tell you to keep the law. They say they keep the law, but they don't keep the law. That was his major gripe with them, that they was fake as hell. You see what I'm saying? And they were about tradition more than they were about scripture. You know, go ahead.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 7. Ye hypocrites.
What?
Hypocrites. Well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Their heart is far from me. They say, right? We say we keep the law. We say we love God, right? But their heart truly was far from it. So that was that internal thing that you was talking about, where they was wicked inwardly, right, Reed?
But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrine.
What they teach for doctrine?
The commandments of men.
The commandments of men. That's your tradition. That's what they really taught for doctrine, was tradition. That's where you get a document called the Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud. You read about that. That was started by the Pharisees coming out of Babylon. So it was full of traditions and opinions and things that they felt, and they esteemed that as or even above the actual laws. Read.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 26 to 28. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup.
What?
Cleanse that which is within the cup.
Cleanse first that which is within the cup. So that's what we're taking. That's what we're told is the principal thing. get our inside clean. Before we even worry about the outside, the outward things, we got to worry about the inward things, right? Hold what you got, Proverbs 11:1. We got to worry about the inward things first and foremost, which are getting your mind right? Because what did he say? Then we're gonna get the parable of the unwashed hands right after this, right? So I'm gonna show you real quick. Let's get Proverbs 11:1 first, though.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is abomination.
A what?
A false balance is abomination to the Lord.
A false balance is abomination to the Lord, right? So that's the problem. When you just righteous on the outside and not on the inside, that's that false balance. But what happens is if you work on the inside first, your inward righteousness will manifest in the outward righteousness. You see what I'm saying? If you truly are transformed in your mind, you're going to look it. You're going to do the things physically that you need to do because your mind is already gotten right. See? So go ahead, give me the unwashed hands. Read.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 2. Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders?
Tradition of the elders. Read.
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
Read on.
But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God?
Well, why do you transgress the commandment? Read.
By your tradition. Okay. For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother.
So what was he saying? He said, you guys are getting on us about washing hands. You don't honor father and mother. Read.
And he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me.
Basically, they're buying their way out of being judged for sins. That's what the Pharisees were doing. You can curse your father and mother as long as you come with a gift. It's fine, right? Read.
And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus
He shall be what?
Free. Yeah.
As long as he come with the gift, he'll be free. Read.
Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition.
Go ahead.
Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying.
Get to where you break it down though about the washing hands.
Okay. Matthew chapter 15, verse. Okay, I'm gonna start at verse. Yeah, okay, I'll just get to 11. He that, not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. I'm gonna jump to verse 18. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart.
Forth from the heart. So what's your inward, it comes forth from your heart. And that's the hardest thing to change. It's what's in your mind, how you think, right, Reed?
And they defile the man.
And they what?
Defile them.
That's what truly defiles you. More than any physical thing. Because all the laws concerning physical uncleanness, it'll just be till even. Or you'll be unclean until even. Or you'll be unclean 7 days or whatever, right? But if your mind is unclean, that's going to take a lot longer than 1 day or 7 days to cleanse, right? Read on.
For out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts.
Out of the heart proceed what?
Evil thoughts.
In your mind, that's where the evil is, right here in your mind. You can front, you can smile and look like you're good, but that evil's still present in that mind, read.
Murders, adulteries.
See that murder. Somebody think about killing somebody all day and I'm going to kill this thing. All day, right? It's in his mind, right? Go ahead.
Fornications.
Go back.
Murders, adulteries.
So you thinking about the next man, woman. Oh, you see what I'm saying? He thinking all day I'm gonna kill that nigga. Adultery, I'm thinking all day I'm gonna have sex with this dude girl. Right, Reed?
Murders, fornications, thefts.
Thinking about plotting on stealing from somebody. All day that's in your mind. Plotting on stealing. You can look as righteous as you want. But you thinking about how I'm gonna steal from this nigga, right? Reed?
False witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man.
That's what really defiles you, is those evil, wicked thoughts. And that's what we got to focus on defeating first. Because after you defeat those, you're going to look the righteous part. That's going to manifest on the exterior. So you got to first defeat them demons on the interior. Read on.
But to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man.
But I didn't wash my hands before I ate. That really ain't going to do nothing to me morally. But what morally is doing something wrong to me is the evil thoughts that's going on in my brain. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 27 and 28. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like unto whited sepulchres.
We say a white sepulcher. You know what a sepulcher is? It's like a grave. But it's like when you go to the cemetery, you see the fancy graves, though. You got like people that's in the dirt, but then you got the people that's in the damn wall, and it's fancy, right? That's the sepulcher. He said, y'all are like a whited sepulcher, read.
Which indeed appear beautiful outward.
They look good on the outside, but what's inside of that sepulcher? A rotting corpse, right? So that's who these Pharisees were. You look good on the outside, but your interior is nothing but a rotten dead body. Read.
But are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness. even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men,
That's right. You look righteous, right?
but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
See that? And that there's a lot of people, and it's not just in the church. You got people that's amongst Hebrew Israelites just like that. You see them, they look the part, they wear their fringes, sisters and hair wrap, things of that nature. They wicked as hell, man. Hey, listen, it's a sister. Listen, it's a sister we know. She's got the baddest hair wraps you ever seen. She done probably had sex with about 3 different brothers this year. Wait a minute, what? This is a fact. This is a fact. I've been on these councils. Go ahead.
Okay, because like I'm very interested in what you all have to say, but some of the things I ain't willing to do just yet. You gotta wear a head wrap.
Well, you have to wear hair wrap in certain settings, certainly. In certain settings.
How I am right now, if I go to work, or you know what I'm saying, out and about.
The Bible don't say you have to wear hair wrap at all times. It don't say that, but it says you have to have your head covered in certain instances. Give me Corinthians.
Can you wear pants as a woman? I ain't wearing
What are there women? Are there pants that's made for women? You go in the store, right? It's a women's section. It's pants in there. Well, that's made for a woman. Then you understand what I'm saying? Because you have some brothers go out there old pants that were made for a woman. But if that was the case, then I could go in the women's section and get a pair of pants that women and won't nobody say nothing to me, right? If I had the rhinestone, the pink rhinestones all on my jeans, right? What would you call me? You see what I'm saying? Would that let you know there's pants that's made for a woman, right? And I shouldn't put those on. See? Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered.
That's enough, but I want the other one too.
Okay, with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head.
See that? So when you're in these settings where if you come you come to class or something to that effect, a high holy day, things of that nature, or you're praying to the Most High, you should have your head covered. But the scriptures don't say you just got to have it all day, every day, head covered. And that's not what is in the scriptures. Go ahead.
I think you want verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a no, that's not okay. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven.
Find the other one for me real quick too. It say because of the angels. That's what it says. I think it's 7. Because of the angels are saying that. But basically, there's certain settings and certain times where you should have your head covered, but that's not necessarily around the clock. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, some things you may not be ready for right now. But right now, as you being new, going back to my initial point was you got to focus on inward. You got to focus on making them changes in your mind. Everything else gonna come.
Where would y'all recommend someone start studying? And do y'all know of any like forums or gatherings? You know, similar churches will have a prayer meeting, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, where you could go and study with people who is like-minded or who knew more than you. Or do you come out here every time?
Well, we come out here, but we got classes online. So from the comfort of your own home, you can watch our live online classes. You can ask your questions. You can interact that way. You see what I'm saying? In the meantime, we get ready, like the brother was talking about, we get ready to get a school Most High Willing within the next month or so. We'll have a building location that sisters can come through that's far more formidable for sisters and children and things like that to come to. You see what I'm saying? So once that's happened, then there'll be days where you can come in and interact that way. You see what I'm saying? But in the meantime, like you said, from the comfort of your home, we got classes live at least 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You see what I'm saying? We're going to be live. We're going to be doing things like that.
Just personally, did you all grow up Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? Or this was like something that you came into?
Yeah, we all came into it. Ain't nobody up here to grow up in. We all came up in it. Most of it different churches, things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And then, the Lord woke us up through one mechanism or another. You know what I mean? You got any other questions, sis? No? Any other questions on the floor? Go ahead, kid.
Okay, what y'all were talking about earlier with the reincarnation, could y'all go over a little bit more? Like, does it go on and on and on?
Yeah.
Like, it's infinite?
It's infinite.
So,
how you think Israel is going to have everlasting life? But you think we're going to be immortal? Bible says it's only one immortal. Give me that. Give me one immortal. I'm going to show you one immortal in the Bible. So that means what? We're going to have to die, right? But we're not going to die. Really, there's going to come a point where we're not going to die, right? Like when Adam sinned, what came into the world? Death, right? Death. Meaning what? You get cancer, you get hit by a car, you can get shot. That's death. So living to a certain point and transitioning, that's not death. Like Enoch didn't die. Elijah didn't die. They were transitioned. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead. You had a question.
So is it the kind of thing where like you could be Moses and he could be Aaron? Like,
well, no, I'm playing. We It's scripture said we're not gonna have knowledge of who we were, but people are coming back. Basically, you see what I'm saying? Like John. Give me John. Get that scripture first, and I'm gonna show you John. Right? Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, okay. 1 Timothy 6 and 15 to 16.
saying, if it's
Which
like
in
that.
his times he shall show, who is the blessed and only potentate, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, who only hath immortality.
Only have immortality. So the Most High have only immortality. So we ain't none of us get ready to be immortal, because it say He only have immortality.
So okay, there's a difference between being immortal and reincarnation.
Yes, because immortal mean basically immortal would mean that body you in right now, it just can't die. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
See, but our shells, our houses die. Our spirit don't, but our houses die. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so when we come back into
a new house, we born into a new house. Give me that
So can I go a little further?
Give me John. Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Give me John. I'm gonna show you this, right? Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 11, verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets in the law
Where's the point? Go ahead.
prophesied until John. And if you will receive it,
No, that ain't what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. All right. Matter of fact, you can read that though. We can hit that. You can get that. That's fine.
and if ye will receive it, this is Elijah, which was for to come.
So Christ said John the Baptist is Elijah. He said it, right? So this is him verbatim putting the stamps, substantiating his reincarnation here, right? Or what we like to call regeneration. Like you said, reincarnation, the butterfly, and then come back here, a dolphin, something wild like that. We don't believe in that, right? Regeneration, his spirit regenerated, right? So he acknowledges John the Baptist is Elijah, which was prophesied to come. Now, let's see what happens when the Pharisees, they knew that Elijah was supposed to come back, right? They also knew a Messiah was supposed to come. So when John the Baptist was doing his thing, the question was, okay, is this the dude, right? So they went and asked him, read.
John 1 and 21 was getting to the point. And they asked him, what then? Art thou Elijah?
Are you Elijah, right? Read, they asked him straight up.
And he saith, I am not.
I'm not. You know why? Because there's no remembrance of that. He's Elijah. He don't remember he's Elijah. He don't know he's Elijah. He's just Elijah. Read.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of former things.
It's no remembrance of former things. So if this brother was Moses, or I was Moses, or Aaron, or anybody, we wouldn't remember, we wouldn't know, we couldn't tell you.
Would somebody else be able to see though?
Well, the only example we have of that is Christ himself. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think anybody outside of him will really be able to substantiate that the way that he did, right? But we know the prophet's gonna come back. Give me John.
So,
right? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm done. Y'all got me excited now. So, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I lost my thought. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Get Revelation. Go ahead. 6:15 to 16. It's another one too. It's another one in Paul's epistles where he affirmed that same thing. Right, but go ahead, hit that.
Revelation 10 and 11. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again.
So he's telling John the Revelator, thou must prophesy again. Read.
Before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings.
He said, you gonna prophesy again. He wrote the prophecies from that from the Isle of Patmos and sent them out. But he was told by that angel, you gonna prophesy again. So the Lord is raising up, the prophet's gonna raise up to be prophets again. Whoever the prophets are, see, that's the thing. We ain't gonna be able to say who's who and who's who, but the prophets, they're gonna be doing what the prophets did. They're gonna be back prophesying.
Isaiah and like the whole squad.
The whole squad.
Shalom, what's going on? It's your brother Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew, and I'm just letting y'all know I just dropped my official clothing line, Urban Guerrilla. Go to urbangorilla.com right now to check us out, man, and pick something up. There's URBNGRLA.com. We got all kind of items for men, women, children, even infants, as well as fragrance oil, smell goods. You can also check out Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co., another Sicarii business, on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can hit up deaconsicari.com to get your plug on the scarves, the music, and the children's Bibles. Thanks for your time. All praise to the Most High. Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.